Okay, so for today's showcase, we're going to be talking a lot about hairstyles. I think we have a lot to go over there. We have a couple new spells with some sort of new assets. We've had them for a little while, but I decided to put them to use with sound magic, so we'll be looking at that in a second. We have some more accessory stuff. You're going to notice that I'm very psychedelic right now in a couple different ways, and I'll explain that in a minute. Um, but yeah, so this is also probably going to go a little bit over 10 minutes. I'm looking to increase the showcases a little bit. I don't want them to go too much over 10 minutes, and I might even go under 10 minutes sometimes, just depending on what's in the showcase and everything. But because we're on YouTube, we have a lot more freedom with that, and it's not as stressful, I guess, having to worry about hitting 10-minute marks every single time. So, not promising longer, shorter videos. Don't really even watch longer, shorter videos. I think 10 minutes is a pretty edible kind of video, just because it's very easy to watch and everything. So no promises there. Just kind of warning you guys in case something's like 9:30 or 10:30 or 11 minutes or something like that. Nothing to worry about. Just kind of format change there because we can use YouTube now. So I'm just going to go ahead and get into it just so I don't waste too much time. What you're seeing here is my hair changing color, as you can obviously see. And this is one of the new hairstyles. We have 20 new hairstyles courtesy of Foe, paid of course. Just I'm not not taking all that work from her for free. So this is 20 new hairstyles, which is one of two batches, and most of them are kind of fancy. I think that it's good to have some stylish hairstyles though. So I think in the next batch we're going to be focusing on particularly the rest of the dev patron hairstyles, as well as the more simple hairstyles, if that makes sense, or simpler hairstyles in general. So these are all lighter as well, lighter gray. You probably won't be able to see very well because of the compression, unfortunately. It kind of ruins the pixel art vibe. But the color is a lot more vibrant with the lighter gray. It's a lot less dark just by default, so that's pretty exciting. I like that a lot. I've also reworked how these items work in general, so they're no longer considered quote-unquote hats, as was the case prior. Now they're considered player details, so hairstyles, ears, eyes, and I'm going to get more into those two in a second. Anyway, we have these, a bunch of new hairstyles. I don't have them all in game yet because it takes a long time to import 20 hairstyles, or rather, I shouldn't say long time, it doesn't take too long, but to import 20 all at once, it's an hour-long process, and I wanted to code some spells instead, or I had some spells to code, I should say. So that's, just something I'm working on. We have about 10 in game right now. Anyway, so I'm in running, but as you can see, it's perfectly matched to the walking states. If you can look here, it's obviously not matched to the running state. However, one thing I did want to note is that eyes and ears, as I said before, are now matched to this system, the same system that hair uses to judge the offsets. So now eyes, as you can see here, match perfectly to your body as well, and you can't really see this, but there are ears as well. So ears are actually going to be attached to your body, and they're handled the same way, and it's not really resource intensive at all. So you don't really need to worry about that. I believe it's only something called a couple times every second, basically. It's not an expensive process at all. And this is all on the client side as well. So the client handles the visuals for these things on every character in the game. Or not in the game, but on their screen. So the client will handle the bulk of that, even though it's not that much of a performant or a anti-performant thing in the first place. So nothing to worry about there in terms of actual performance or efficiency if you're worried about it. At least not right now. In the future, maybe we have 500 people on one screen, and then we have some problems that we have to work out, but for right now, I think that we're okay. I don't think that we're going to run into that anytime soon, and I can see this working for quite a few people. So, anyway, what I've done here with the eyes is also lightened the eyes, so they take the color better as well. Previously, they were very dark, so you couldn't see the color extremely well. If you look closely, you can see they're also psychedelic, as in they're changing through or cycling through colors. The ears are not cycling through colors. You can see them on the side of the head here. They kind of blend in with this hair, just because the hair has them already. But ears are a thing, and Foa was actually really nice and gave us the ears for free, as well as a second set of ears. So the pointed ears, I didn't think about this prior, but it's actually a really good way for racial attributes and accessories and such, things like that. So it's actually really easy to apply these because they use the same thing as the head or whatever, or the hair and hats, so they're actually really easy to swap out. So racial accessories you can probably see coming soon. I'm really excited to get those in the game, along with different bases for the different races, so different skin colors, different eye colors, and etc. I'm probably going to work on that some a little bit here and there. I'm really looking forward to seeing a fully fledged, dressed up character. We also have quite a bit of work going in for the outfits. I apologize for going so into this, but I'm very excited about it because while I was quoted for 20 hours for one outfit, which would lead us down a path of $400 to $500 for one outfit, Howell, who is one of our amazing artists that worked on all of these weapons up here and a bunch of other things like the UI and everything here. This is all him, except for these little spell icons, I suppose, but still amazing work. He told me it would take probably 2 to 3 hours. And I'm not going to be using him, I think, for all of these, and that's nothing against him. It's just because it's an extremely tedious task doing it for all of the frames, and I want the precision there, which you can't get by doing it, with automatic offsets like this. So I'm probably going to be using another artist just so I don't wear him down. I want to have him available for other things. So I'm going to get someone else to do the grunt work, and he's going to just kind of make the mock-ups and everything like that. But for right now, he's working on the first outfit, and once that's done, I'll show it off very happily. I think that that's going to look very good. So that's wearable stuff. So hair, eyes, ears, clothing, races, accessories, etc., etc. All of that's looking very good. I think within the next week and a half, 2 weeks, we should have a very complete accessory system, and I'm looking forward to that a lot. So stay tuned for that stuff. Now, for those of you that don't care about the customization stuff and you care about the spells, we do have 2 new spells. I guess 1.5 new spells. We have 1 new spell, and then I have kind of reworked the other spell, Sea of Memory. So we have Uneasy Rhythm and Sea of Memory. And for this, I'm actually going to just reload the game real quick because I have this other player character in a kind of bad position for it. So I'm going to go ahead and run over here. Don't mind my hair floating off my head. Again, this is not really a bug. I'm going to get out of there. This is not really a bug. It's just I haven't set the offsets yet. Intended bug, I guess you could say, in a way. So what you just saw there were some sound notes or music notes, I suppose. So if I go ahead and hit space here, it knocks them back and sends forward a shockwave. So this works from any direction, and it actually is omnidirectional as well. So I can look away, and it pushes them back. So this is like an omnidirectional shockwave. It hits every mob around you in, I believe, an area of 5 tiles, which is 5 times 32 pixels in every direction. And if it does hit a mob, it will launch some little sound notes or musical notes or whatever. There is a existing bug. I'm not entirely sure if this is a bug, or this is like a what I should consider a bug, I suppose. But when you hit them from a diagonal, they line up instead of spreading out in a flat thing. I'm not entirely sure if I dislike that. I think it's kind of like a stylistic choice. If I can figure out an easy way to change that, which I think I can if I really put my mind to it, just because of the way the offsets work. It's not that big of an issue. It's just not. I'm not sure if it's something I should really be focusing on. I'm not sure if it's worth my time, basically. But I'll figure something out. If I can figure out an easy solution, I'll fix it. If not, it's not a big deal, I don't think. As you can see, it's pretty basic. And these are the same projectiles you just saw. So I'm going to quickly reload the game again because these aren't currently in the spell tree. These are just being activated via me adjusting the spell attached to my dash. So that's something. I am gonna warn you. I'm gonna run over here real quick to get to this dude because he casts it automatically after I think 5 seconds. So as you can see, he's casting it. It's still a little bit jaggedy. However, I have made some adjustments. So first thing, as you can see, or as you saw, I suppose, musical notes. So musical notes flood the area around the player. So that's one thing. The other thing is that there is a massively reduced range. One thing that someone pointed out, and I don't think that this is that big of an issue, truthfully. However, I wanted to make sure we didn't go too far into it. So we have Raging Sun and we have Thunderstorm. Thunderstorm does not lock you in place and allows you to run around, and it's a very big AoE that shoots down lightning. And then there's Raging Sun, which is it does lock you in place, and then in a small AoE around you, it ticks fire damage, which ticks up burn damage as well if you have sweltering heat on them. So those two are kind of not really skill shoddy, and someone pointed out that those two, we should probably avoid having more of those just because they're not very high skill. They're very easy to use, they're very easy and simple to understand, which is not a bad thing, but you don't want to have too many of them, otherwise it becomes a very unskilled kind of game, I guess. So I wanted to avoid that, and what I've done is I've reduced the range massively, so now it's a very small range. However, it does have a slightly stronger effect. The damage is more realistic now, so it's in the 20s. If I go ahead and just walk up to this man I'm not sure why it's lagging. Oh, it must have been the recording software. Okay. If I go up here, you can see just around me, and he won't actually take any damage here. He will be heavy slowed. So if someone ends, or if you end the cast, if you end, I believe, the 3.5-second cast now, and someone is in the AoE, they will be heavy slowed. Up to 3 people, max, because I don't want to nuke an entire crowd of people. So if there is a person in there when it ends, they will be heavy slowed for sure. However, if they were standing still, as in if they weren't moving around, it won't record locations and it won't deal damage to them. So previously, if someone stood still, or if, say, you stunned them, it would just nuke them for the entire damage, and they wouldn't be able to move because they were stuck in one spot. So now, if you do this, it won't actually do any damage to them if they're just standing still, as you can see here. So even though they're in the AoE, they don't take damage because they've been standing still. So now there's a small threshold where you won't be able to actually do damage to someone if they're standing still. So you won't be able to combo like a stun into this and just instantly delete someone, basically. And if I can drag this guy real quick, you'll see that this is still, it still pulls him back. It's very jaggedy right now, which is something we're trying to fix, or I'm trying to fix. The reason for this is because they continue moving while they're being stepped backwards. So that's, it's kind of a hard issue to fix because I don't want to stun them. Because if I stun them, then they won't be able to move, and they won't be able to cast spells, which is not the intention of the spell. It's just something I'm going to have to work out, something to make it look better. But yeah, so that's first one was Uneasy Rhythm. Second one was Sea of Memory. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing those. I am going to end it in 30 seconds or so, just because I don't want to keep it going too long. We did get up to 12 minutes today, but I hope you guys enjoyed the look of those spells. If you guys have any concerns with them, if you don't like how they look or something like that, feel free to tell me, let me know. They're going to be put in the spell tree by the next showcase. I already have the hotbar icons set up and everything, so they're going to be shoved in there. Or if they're not in the spell tree, they'll at least be in the game, but I think I'll have them in the spell tree by then. So if you guys enjoyed, let me know. If you didn't enjoy, also let me know. If you thought you could see some changes and stuff, or thought that certain stuff shouldn't be there or whatever, feel free to let me know. Really appreciate the feedback every time, and I really appreciate knowing that you guys watch and enjoy. So also really enjoying not having to end it in an instant at 10 minutes. Anyway, if you guys enjoyed, let me know. See you next time. Bye.